Here we go, Poodle fam. We are in Wednesday. Again, my therapy. We have got a good one for you today. Actually, we have a really good one for you today because we have our favorite guest. I think, he could probably just steal the show from me. We have Sasha today because, as you have seen, there has been a few changes on the back end, but not really changes, just so you know. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about a little bit of the future, what's coming up, and kind of what our focus is ahead. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to not say a ton today. And instead, I am going to go straight to bringing Sasha on the show. Doxed Sasha, which is awesome. We've got a video. We've got you video and all today. So welcome, and let's pretend people don't know who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your role.
Hey guys, so as most of you probably know, I'm Sasha. I've been involved in the project for around about 8 or 9 months now, and have helped form it into the position that it's in today. I worked alongside some of the original team on the V2 of the project. So P, who turned up in the room today, which was interesting. P's always welcome, and of course Moose and some of the other guys who you may know from 6-7 months ago. I've spoken about this before, and I don't want to kind of go over my it's not all about me, but I've got a 20-year plus history in tech, ranging from small to medium enterprises up to corporates, mainly in business development. So taking small companies or sections of large companies and making those divisions bigger, working with virtual teams, physical teams, and bringing in the right resources for the job as and when they're needed. Which kind of leads us on to today. I know Joe's mentioned that we've had a little bit of change behind the scenes. So Moose, as you probably noticed, has been less and less frequent over the past few months. He's a busy guy. He's had a lot on in real life, and he holds 2 of the jobs. So what we've kind of done over the past, I would say, 4 or 5 months or so, is we've tried to make it easier for the project as a whole by bringing in specialist resources as and when they're needed. So a specific dev for the augmented reality app, a specific dev, to help us with the NFT 2D project. A specific dev to help with some of the other things that are going on behind the scenes, and really, just ease the load to a certain degree. But Moose has stepped down, and that kind of leaves us in a position where we're just doing what we were before, but we have a new and aggressive agenda and roadmap. Obviously, Joe stepped up to be part of the project. We have Space Dog, who has been doing some of the web design stuff. And a little bit of that will be outsourced eventually as well. I know Space is a busy guy in real life. The great thing for you guys is I'm not. This is what I do. So I am full-time, 24/7 on this project. Have been, will be, not going anywhere. And there's a lot of things happening at the moment. We've got some really good stuff happening behind the scenes. Some things that I can't talk about because we're under NDA. And we have more than one of those. Just to let you know, and some of the stuff you do know about. So the 2D NFT project, which is going to have a rewards pool, which is going to give you specific access to things within the metaverse. And the metaverse announcement has been made, so you know who our partner is. That's Lakeview Meta. They're one of our metaverse partners going forward, and they have a great platform. Over the next day or 2, you'll see that rolled out with everybody being given some in-game tokens to play with, and maybe a poodle wrap Lambo, and I think I put something else in the room today. Oh yeah, there's a treasure hunt game within there, so we filled chests and geocached them around the virtual world, and you can use a metal detector and basically go and hunt for treasure. You'll find gems, you'll find poodle tokens, you'll find lots of interesting stuff, and I'm sure you guys will have fun there. But from a project perspective and direction, nothing really changes. We have the same dynamic in terms of where we know we're going. We have the same aims and goals for the project. We're still using the same external resources we were using 3 days ago, 5 days ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago. We will potentially have a faster pace, and that's just because we know that things need to to happen, should we say. So we are focusing to bring the right people in to do specific components of each task, if you understand me, guys. So rather than having, one person who's responsible for development, we'll have a team of people who have specific skills in specific development areas, and they will bolt together to become kind of a super dev in a way, because let's face it, most devs who are, full stack, or most devs who are generic devs, they know a certain amount of each particular skill set. And even they have to bring people in to do specific tasks in specific programming languages, or in, text Solidity, for example. It's not a commonly used language, and most projects use Solidity Dev to do that part of the project for them. And we're no different. So, we bring in the right talent at the right time for the right parts of the project. And it means that, we're going to get shit done.
Yeah. I love that, because I think what people don't realize all the time, because of the way, crypto and meme coins have changed over the past year, is it's not just about making a smart contract and then hoping you moon, right? We've all had to gain utility, and because of that, we have to be able to be fluid and flexible with the direction that the blockchain is even moving in, which is now metaverse. We weren't having metaverse conversations a year ago, which, by the way, we have to do a special shout out. A year ago yesterday, the poodlcast was what came about. So this is 1 year, 52 episodes straight. And that means I also have to give a shout out to Susan on the chat here, who popped in. So she always has to get the shout out every time she comes on. So, but the thing is, if we think back a year ago with this token, and even just the poodlcast, like when I started this thing a year ago, I did not think that I would now be an admin and have access to the contract wallet. Like this is just weird. That was never part of the plan, but it's what happens because we're in such a fluid time in crypto, right? And we're in a fluid time in Web3 and Metaverse, all of these things. And so I think that's really kind of the key that we want to think about, and why it's kind of great while we're making these connections with the Metaverse people, the way we've focused on being able to change how we can buy, and our, all of our partners that we can with our exchanges. Like, it's not just, create a smart contract and then wait for it to moon. And the people who thought that last March, April, and all of that are going to be very disappointed. And that's why very few tokens have even survived, right? Because that's what they did. They thought, oh, if I can copy and paste a smart contract and get someone to buy some tokens, then I'm going to be rich. And that's really what happened, was that people lost a lot of money, because that's where they put their focus. They didn't actually put their focus in understanding that there is more to it. And if you look at the tokens that have made it, the ones that are surviving are the ones that said, we're going to be more than just a pancake swap exchange. We're going to have more to do than that. And I think that's really the key when we go, okay, well, what's the change that we've done now this week and this last week? What we've done is we've just opened up the alley to be able to be more fluid and flexible. And we're not saying, okay, we're going to just do this one thing and focus on that. We're going to have to do everything, because that's where this is going. And, and all of us would be dumb to even pretend that we could guess where it's going to be in a year from now, right? So if we have to spend 6 months to get something out, and 6 months to get a deliverable, we're going to be behind the times. And so really what we want to focus on is, what can we do now? What can we do fast? We had a vote just 3 months ago, or not even 3 months, probably 2 months ago. This is my crazy schedule, right? Time flies. But, where we said, hey, we're going to put money into marketing. We're going to put some things where we can get some buys, so we can now get out there and be active on the changes as to where they're going. And that's really kind of the key, because if we're not there and we're not striking while the iron is hot, like last week, last week's show was, kind of the lunacy, right? The idea of all these people who lost because of, of not actually, not, let's say not being smart, but, the fact is there are bad actors. There's manipulation. There are things that happen, but we, being this safe token, now are able to say, how can we be part of this? How can we be good, good neighbors in the crypto space, which is why we've built partnerships with other tokens, why we've become part of the greater ecosystem as well. I mean, even to think, I couldn't imagine, I just, so everybody knows, I've now been, reached out to Seek, and I'm starting the process for my own KYC as if everyone, I'm already out there, but we're doing all the things that are right. Even though everyone could probably find me in a Google search, it's still about going through and doing all the right steps, which is what this token has done from day one. Always doing the right steps to be successful, to be, for that, right? And article's coming. Don't worry, it's coming. All right.
So on that, yeah, I spoke to not more than an hour ago. I spoke to Cointelegraph. So we're feeling out what packages they have available at the moment. Those guys are keen to work with us. They've obviously seen us being pushed by people like BSC Daily, which is great. We're getting attention from those guys. And that article and some of the social media activity that will go with that will be part of a package, not just with them, but with other people as well. And some people have moaned a little bit in terms of when article, when marketing, blah blah blah, and I get it. I want it yesterday, I want it a month ago, I want it 5 months ago, but we have to time things right to a certain degree, and I don't mean that in terms of trying to time the market, because that's virtually impossible. We all know the state of the market right now, and it's down. However, we can't let that hold us back. We have to get our things out there. And if it doesn't have a huge impact on day one, it's referenceable material that might have a huge impact on day 30, day 60, But what we can't do is hold back and say, well, we don't think the market timing is quite right. What I mean by timing is timing as our own project. So I want us to be, and we are now, in a position where we can talk about metaverse, we can talk about fiat gateways, we can talk about KYC, we can talk about being vetted, we can talk about being part of a group of safe, trusted tokens, and the many other things that are literally changing day by day. I mentioned a couple of the things that we kind of can't talk about, but one of those is potentially a huge partnership, which may come as soon as Friday. I don't know. There's a lot of conversations being had behind the scenes, and things, as you say, are pretty fluid, but fluid in a good way, not fluid in a we're not quite sure way. Fluid in a, we have a list of specific things that we're looking at, and we're doing everything we can to make those happen. So, I've never been more bullish about Pood. We have a great project. We have so many good things on the agenda at the moment and on the radar. It's not just the case of us saying, well, this is coming in 6 months, or, this is a wishy-washy Q3 objective. We've got the 2D NFT project, which will be out in June. So I've been working over the past few days to tie those NFTs to the smart contract. So the smart contract will mean that, because there's a reward system, for example, that the payments are done automatically. As soon as someone else buys another NFT, the portion of that revenue that goes out in rewards will go out automatically to the wallet. It also means that people will automatically get the special items in the metaverse, let's say. So there are going to be certain utilities tied to those NFTs, and they're going to be cheap. Let's face it. 0.2 BNB is great. Everybody can get one. They look great. Hopefully they'll be traded. I've been speaking to Use today about which particular marketplace we're going to look to place those on. We haven't quite got to that stage yet, but I have the NFTs. I have all of them, and we're working with a smart contract now. So these are real tangible things. These are not things that are coming in Q3, Q4. They're here now, and the metaverse as well. I've got the metaverse guys screaming at me to kick out the $10 of free credits and the poodle wrap Lambos and all those kind of things. But again, we need to time that right, and that's probably going to be, I suspect, tomorrow. So look out for that.
Yeah, I think you said something wise there. about it's that timing this is not about timing the market, it's about timing our project, right? And timing where we can do the most value in it, because to market for the sake of marketing is not wise use of investor money, right? The wise use of money is to say we now have, this release of XYZ, whatever it be, and then be very specific with the targeted marketing that we're going to do to get the audience who would be interested in that. Because the audience that would be interested in, say, the metaverse stuff might be different than the audience that's interested in collectible 2D NFTs, or might be different than the audience that's solely interested in redistribution, right? Everyone has their own thing, and that's why we have to be specific about that.
Okay, yeah, and we tried to make it where we're kind of at a point where we tick most boxes, so if you're in it for the charity, we got it. If you're in it for gaming, we got it. If you're in it for metaverse, we got it. If you're in it for passive income, we got it, and we've kind of come to a point where, I feel comfortable that we can go out to market and stand up against any token out there, anybody, and say, yes, we have this, we have that. We are a genuine project with genuine utility and, a great investment. Anybody that looks at the things that we have as a token and doesn't think that we're a great investment, come talk to me, because, I put my money where my mouth is. You do as well, Joe. So do all of our investors. The people in the know on this project know how safe and solid we are, and everything that we have going for us as a project and the longevity of it.
Yes.
We're not going anywhere. Even if, let's say, every one of us was to stop working today on this project, our project would exist on the blockchain and have liquidity locked against it for another 4 years.
Yeah,
that's not what's going to happen. Clearly, we're working, day and night on the project, but that just gives you an idea as to how safe and secure we are as an investment.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. We actually have a couple of questions coming in, since we kind of promised this to be a little bit of an AMA as well. So I'm going to start here. We've got Chase is asking, and is the Sidescroller game still happening?
No. And the reason is that was a kind of I mean, we could do a Sidescroller game, don't get me wrong, and it wouldn't be a huge drain on the project. However, with the games within the metaverse, and we can have multiple mini games within the metaverse, so we've already got racing in there, we've already got treasure hunting in there, and they're 3D avatars. I'm not sure how much value a 2D side-scroller game would add. I mean, if the community is screaming out for it, we can look at it and we can probably get one bolted together. And it was on the roadmap. However, sometimes, as you say, because we're fluid and dynamic, things supersede other things. So if you've got a 3D open world game that has 3 different islands, including a casino island, including racetracks, including 2 different cities, that literally, I was on there with Poodle Dog doing some testing a couple of days ago, and I was in the pink and orange Lambo. He was in the black Lambo, and he eventually got the hang of steering it, because you can go up to 300 miles an hour in these Lambos down the freeways. It's a different kind of gaming experience. And what we did is, because it's great and it's good fun to be in a group when there's a few of you. We had 4 Lambos in a row because there was another couple of people on there, and we're all heading down the freeway and through the city, and then we went on the racetrack, and we went up in the blimp. There's a blimp that you can just basically teleport into and then drop out in any part of the world. But we were on there for literally an hour and a half, and fully explored 2% of it. So it kind of begs the question, do we really need a side scroller, to answer your question, Chase? I'm sure you're going to love it when you're in the metaverse.
Yeah, and I think that you really just said it with the ability, going back to what I said about being fluid, right? We actually have one-upped it by putting gaming in a metaverse, right? So it's like you can have one, but now we've had an opportunity, because again, there's going to be a time where everyone's going to flood into this and do a game in the meta. Well, we're going to get there first. We're going to stake a claim. So at some point, you got to say, hey, we've had some things on the roadmap, but where's the value? The value is being first in something else, right? And I think that's really the key. Another question then. Chase is coming at it with the questions. Is the metaverse playable on just a regular device, or do you need to play on a CPU?
It's playable on a regular laptop. So yeah, and it does have a minimum requirement, but it's not huge. And depending on what caliber of laptop you've got, depends on the frames per second you get within the metaverse. So I think I get anywhere, depending on where I'm looking in the metaverse, and it does tell you frames per second at the top of the screen, anywhere between 20 and 60 frames per second. I've got an Intel i7 and a GeForce GTX card, but I've seen people using less than that, and they get on fine. So there is a minimum specs in there. I think I actually set it as a filter in the room, but I'll post those in the room today for you, Chase. And anybody that wants to test, by the way, give me a shout. And if you wanted to hop on the metaverse with me, and what we did the other day, which was really good, is we we have a Telegram group, and we will set one up for this. So we'll set a Poodle Telegram group up where you can, and it's just open voice chat all the time. So you have that open at the same time, and then you're in the metaverse as well. So you can say, hey, I'm over here near the Litecoin building, come round, or I'm here, or, you can go and find each other and stuff like that. It's really good fun.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I love the idea of doing that extra live voice Telegram, because again, it builds our community. Everything that we can do to build our community is what's key. Other questions? Let me go. Trisha is asking if you can use VR with the metaverse. Does it take it? I don't know the answer to it.
In terms of, I guess she means Oculus, and that kind of VR. So as yet, no. But it is something that's being looked at. The great thing about Lakeview for us is Lakeview are a young project. They have a great development team. They are on this 24/7. I can't tell you the amount of updates that I've received just in the past few days. We've added this feature, we've added that functionality, we've improved this, we've improved that. And being partnered with these guys at this stage allows us to work with them to help make it a better place. Our users can give feedback, and we can join them on the journey that they're going to have, because I can tell you it's going to be huge. They're a great team. They're a pretty small community at the moment, but there aren't many small metaverse projects where you can be as part of it as we are with these guys. There are some out. Obviously, there's places like Sandbox and that level of metaverse. However, we would be a small fish in a big pond. Whereas, with these guys, we're actively working with them. They want to work with us going forward. They want us to be part of the project. They want, we've got sponsorship all over the place. And we want to work with them because they bring things to the table that we don't have. I talked about, having specialist dev skills. These guys have got it in spades. Mm-hmm. And they are willing to work with us on other areas of our project as well, such as the AR app, for example. These guys work with Unity day in, day out. We didn't have a full-time Unity dev. And one thing that I would say is that most of this has come from both the Crypto Legends collaboration and through Seek. Robert Seek's a great guy. He's introduced us to some great people behind the scenes. And there are a raft of projects out there that are good, honest, legitimate like us. And by pooling our resources to a certain degree and being friendly with each other and non-tribal, we all get more out of the end result. Our strength is greater than, some of our parts.
Yep. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that's, to me, one of the keys about what makes this special. Because, so a few other things. I think it's important. You keep bringing up stuff that makes me think about this. When we talk about the Crypto Legends and the other partnerships that we've been building with other tokens, and it really goes to show how there is a community out there really wanting to make all of this work, right? And I think that that's one of the messages that we want to put out there, and that we as a token, I think we've built a lot of respect for. I think if people who follow the Poodle token Twitter should see how much respect that account gets. And it gets the respect because of we're not seen as threatening, we're not seen as unsafe, we're seen as a token that is getting all the ducks in order to make the big splash, right? And that's what we keep saying is, you know, I think it's neat to watch how people are like, wow, they're doing this and they're doing this. That's kind of amazing because you would think that everybody is doing that, but they're not. That's why people are surprised that we are and that we keep doing more stuff. As a side note, I'm going to go here. So Chase has a thing back in there about the Sidescroller. So I'm going to say this, Chase. We are a community token. If you have an ability to get a game going or something for our token, talk to us. Let's get this stuff going. So if there are certain things, because I do know that like even our Telegram games and our little game competitions for 24 hours, they're fun. Gaming is fun. The things that build our community is fun. So I'm going to challenge you if you've got a skill or whatever, and I say this to everyone out there. A year ago, when this Poodlecast was started, I did not do this thinking I was going to become an admin, right? This is just something I want to give to the community. We are a community token. We always have been. We always will be. It takes everybody. So, you know, let's just keep it moving. So this is what's really cool about us. I love the direction we're going. And I love the fact that, you know, as you always say, Sasha, when you tweet out on the Poodle thing, you know, that we never sleep. I think it's you never sleep. I have no idea how you're returning messages at all hours of the day. But that's really the thing that I think everyone should jump on and take that load. Because really right now, we need active people and we need people out there really supporting these things. Like, let's get some trial people who want to test the metaverse. Let's get some people out there collecting, you know, our NFTs. Like, if we want to really do this, we've got to be buying these things up. They're going to be great trading cards for the new ones. I think we still have a few of the original ones available. We've got to start getting out there, right? And do those.
Some of them are great.
Yeah.
Some of them are really, really good. I mean, those military ones, I'm absolutely amazed that they haven't gone yet. Because if you're going to be a character in the metaverse, and let's not forget, you know, I'm the samurai, so, you know, that's staying with me. But your 3D NFT is being worked on right now to be integrated. We've integrated 2 so far. The other 73 are literally probably about a third of the way through, and they'll all be dropped in at once. And, you know, whichever NFT you own, that will be you. So choose something that you know, that you think is going to be good in a metaverse platform. And let's not forget, it may not be just this platform. It may be other platforms as well, other games. So, you know, choose wisely, I would say. Or just choose something fun, you know. But that will be you, a representation of you to everybody that you meet in the metaverse. So my samurai is mine of the sword, by the way, just to be more friendly.
Well, I love the videos you create with it. So it's really cool to see. And what I love is, again, I probably pay attention. Hopefully our community pays attention. But I have watched how you have been documenting and tweeting out the process along the way. I remember when you first, there was first just the slice, and that was all it could do. But now it's dancing. Now it's moving. Now it's like, but that shows our project. We're a project that keeps moving and dancing. Right? We never stay stagnant. We're always working on something. We're always looking at what's next. And that's really why I'm excited about, you know, some of the changes that we've made recently, the difference that what we're doing, because the fact is it's the only way any token is going to stay successful, right? And if you're not doing those things, you're going to fail. So the fact that we're doing it is what keeps giving props. And when that major marketing ends up happening, when it happens, then you will see the effect of that, right? But it doesn't do any good until, you know, if you do it too early, it goes for nothing. And we saw this token do that early on, right? You know, with the long necker guy or whatever it was, right? We made some stupid mistakes early on because that's what everyone thought. You just get an influencer and all of a sudden you're going to be a millionaire. No, that's not how it works, right? You need utility and then you need purpose and then strategic stuff. And I think that's where we're getting primed for it. You know, and it's interesting to think it's only been a week and a half or so since we saw each other in Portugal, and look what's happened already. right? I mean, it's
This is the thing,
crazy.
yeah. I mean, the pace we go at is incredible sometimes. I mean, I see it probably more than others because, we get some people who may drop in from, from week to week, or some people that are visible, pretty much every day. But what they don't see is a lot of the conversations that are happening behind the scenes. And, if we'd have gone to market with some, some huge article or some promotions, even a week ago, yeah, we would have only had one NFT in the metaverse. We wouldn't have had the treasure hunt functionality that's going to drop, that's ready, and I've been testing. We wouldn't have had as much information to talk about in the article that's upcoming. I mean, and it's a fine line between, I know something else is going to come tomorrow. Do I wait, or do I wait another 2 days till, potentially something else comes, and, get it in a position where you don't do anything because there's something else coming. So, but no, we're in a position now where I am happy to stand up, as you can see, on any feed, in any room, on any AMA, and talk about the benefits, the features, the advantages, the progress that we're making as a project, and some of the things that we have to come that are great. I think we stand tall amongst any token out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, obviously I agree, but I think our community agrees, and we know it. And, so to kind of throw to you then, because I have to ask the advice question, people, they hear me blabber on week after week after week, but what can people do right now? If you're just an investor, or if you're just someone who's hanging out on the Telegram, you're waiting for some of these things to happen, what can they do? What can they do this week, or what should they do this week to help this project?
3 words: talk about it. Whether you talk to, a friend at work who invests a little bit in crypto, whether you talk on Twitter, whether you talk on Reddit, whether you talk on 4chan, whether you talk on Instagram, whether you make a small YouTube video, do whatever you can. If you have as much faith and confidence in the project as I hope you see that I have and that Joe has, then you should have it. Don't be afraid to talk to people about us. We're a great project. We've got some fantastic things coming down the line, and we're not tribal, so hopefully that's reciprocated. So you may have seen, we posted about the son of DOGE today in the room. We posted about Seek. We posted on our Twitter feed about iLotto, for example. So, don't be afraid to speak to those guys. Don't be afraid to speak to people that are in other projects, because when they look at us, they'll see that we're not a tribal project. We're not one of these where we try and keep you blinkered so that, you only buy our project and we're afraid that you're going to buy something else. That's not who we are. It's not what we are. We stand on our own 2 feet, and people will buy us for exactly who we are and exactly what we have to offer. So have that confidence to speak out,
Yeah.
And if you get some FUD from, saying, I remember Poodle from, 9 months ago, a year ago, whatever, then take a look at the project yourself. We're a completely different beast. We've got a number of different facets to the project, and all of them are, I would say, future-proofed. Who isn't looking at the metaverse? Who isn't looking at NFTs with utility? Who isn't looking at gaming as part of what's going to drive the next wave of crypto adoption? Because I'm telling you, the gaming market is absolutely massive, and we get just a very, very small portion of that, then, we'll do very, very well.
Yeah, it's funny because I think you're absolutely right about talking about it. I was at our little clubhouse the other day. We took our boat up, dropped it at the clubhouse, and someone's asked me about crypto because all they heard was it all crashed and it's all gone, it's all dead. And I was like, and they never got into it. And I'm like, actually, this is where you need to buy. And I'm like, what you don't understand is this was the largest holders of crypto are hedge funds and governments, okay? Large banks. This is who owns this stuff. And every time it pumps, they purposefully make it crash in order to freak everybody out so they can buy your shares and build the price back up. It's a game they play. And in fact, it's what the stock market does all the time. It's just that crypto is more volatile for being so young. It doesn't have other, other currencies to leverage it out a little bit, so you don't see it as drastic. And I said, so they're like, well, what should we do? I'm like, well, you should buy now. I mean, like this is not the time. You don't wait for Bitcoin to go back up to 60,000 to buy it. You buy it now. right? This is how we do it. And even she said, you're like, well, if I have a couple $1,000s, will you help me? I'm like, absolutely. And she's like, what are you going to do? I said, here's what I'm going to tell you to do. I'm going to take that $2,000. I'm going to tell you, put 500 in Bitcoin, put 500 in Ethereum. Be happy there. That other 1,000 though, we're going to have some fun with. Okay, and we're going to get some Poodle because you got a huge upside on that and some things that we're doing. Again, it's not traditional, but it's a direction that the blockchain is moving in with Metaverse and all of these things that you've been hearing, these buzzwords. We're going to throw some money there, and we're going to get you some money, and so throw some of your money into the main chain that supports this. And I said that's how you're going to be diversified. You're going to be a little bit safe. You're going to make some money, but you've also got a pot in that. When we 1000x, you're going to be coming to me and be buying me some drinks one night because you're going to be very, very happy about that, right? And that's safe investing. And it's right to what you said. We're not sitting here trying to pretend that we're the only thing that exists. We are part of a bigger ecosystem. We're a huge part of that ecosystem with the direction things are going in because we already know that we want to be players with this. But that's how we educate people, and I think even when we talk about it, you don't, especially if you've got a new investor, I don't know, maybe you disagree with me, Sasha, but I wouldn't tell a new investor, just go through all your money in Poodle. I mean, do I want people to? Of course. Is it my biggest holding? Of course. But you want people to go, I want you to understand all of how this works. Do some safe ones, do some risky ones. Isn't that what you do in normal investing? You do some safe things, you do some risky things. You also do some cutting edge things. You also do some blue chip things, right? This is where we are. This is how we all do this. And that's how I try to educate people. And she went and she said, okay, help me with this. And she threw $2,000 into the market, right? A brand new crypto investor who started the conversation by saying it's crashed and dead. I'm like, no, it's crashed and best time to get in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the market, the big hedge funds and the people with the, large amounts of wealth to throw around, they rely on this. The market doesn't move up and down on its own. It moves up and down, partly because of wider circumstances to a certain degree, but more so because some of it's orchestrated. The guys, a couple of hedge funds get together and they all, they say they'll put downward pressure, sell pressure onto, some of the bigger coins. And then that puts downward pressure on the rest of them that are on the chains. And then they scoop some of those up and then they put their money back in. And, it is, to a certain degree linked to the stock market as well, because these hedge funds, they have diversified portfolios across stocks, shares, crypto. When, there's a bit of a downward pressure on the stock market, some of the hedge funds sell what are deemed their riskier assets. And to them, that means crypto. I kind of laugh about this to a certain degree, because obviously I know how safe Poodle is. But I talk about risk, appetite for risk, and I would say, you put a little bit of Bitcoin or a little bit of Ethereum, and you're only going to get maybe, even if you're looking, 5 years, probably a 4 times, something like that out of those. As you go down the chains, you may look to get a more of an X back on your investment. And then you look at something like us, and, traditionally we'd be seen as, high risk, high reward. But I look at us as zero risk, but lots of reward, because I know how safe we are. Obviously, I'm going to say that, but we're KYC'd, we're doxed, we're good guys, we're a good team, we have a great community. We have been through the mill as a project. If this project was going to go anywhere or do anything nefarious, it would have done it at 60 million or 30 million or 20 million, not have gone to, 700K market cap and then back up to 2 million and still be putting the effort in that we are. Anybody with a pair of eyes can hopefully see that we put work into this project and that we have a bright future. And if people can't, then they can't, but we'll find people that can.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And that's the awesome thing about this project. I think we can't say that enough. And I think people are definitely seeing it as well. And as they see how we can go through an admin dev change and still come out stronger, because that's what this token does all the time. So a last question as we start to kind of close up for you. I'm not going to make you break any news, but what can the community be excited about in, say, the next 2 weeks to 4 weeks? What should they most be excited about?
there's a couple of things on the horizon. I would say, a good collab partnership in the, I would say, more traditional crypto space, which is not guaranteed, but on the horizon, and will certainly get a lot more eyes on us and would open our access to a broader market. And another thing, maybe something else around gaming or metaverse, that type of thing, which is on the cards as well. And you don't know when I'm going to drop, or we're going to drop the 2D NFTs, because right now I've got a DM from the guy to talk about the contract and a couple of adjustments that need to be made. But he's on it right now. So, we could, literally launch those anytime. They're going to be spoken about in the marketing that we do. They're at that stage. We're not, it's not a case of, we've got an artist off doing some work. The artwork's done, the contract is in place, and it has the functionality to distribute the rewards. We're just at the stage where we're meshing those two things together right now. And that could happen, within the next week, within the next 2 weeks, certainly within June, as promised.
Yeah. All right. We do have one final question here because it is metaverse related, and then we're gonna close up shop for the day on this episode. Chase is back with another question on time. What is the demons and angels? Is that off the table or is that on hold?
Which Chase is it, by the way?
Huh?
Which Chase is it? Which Chase is it? Pumpkin or Leven Sailor?
Leven Sailor.
Okay. Hi, Chase. So I inquired about to the demons and angels guys a few days ago. So as you know, they put their mint back, and the reason they did that is there was a huge fall off in the NFT space at the time, a couple of months ago. I've been told that the project is still on the cards, and that they are actively working with some marketing partners. However, can I say that it's going to be coming out this month? No. Can I say it'll be next month? No. Can I say that it's, we haven't been told that it's not on the agenda? That's where we are, and we're open and honest about the partnerships that we have. Those guys did have a plan to mint. I think what kind of threw it for those guys, they were about to go to mint because they had a lot of the artwork done, and there was the big Solana scam around NFTs, and the whole of the NFT market literally dropped like a stone. And if you're a pure NFT project, and that's the only thing that you have on your phase one of your development, don't forget they were NFT followed by Metaverse, and their NFT collection was a pass into their meta world. Then it's pretty fundamental that you're able to sell out basically phase one to fund phase two. And I think at the time, those guys, who I know, by the way, these guys aren't nameless, faceless individuals. They thought the timing wasn't right for that. So knowing the amount of work that they put into it, I suspect it's still on the agenda. Can I say when? No.
Yeah. And also to remember, even when we announced this, we had kind of that AMA with them and all that before, even they said they were still early in the project, pre-mint and all of that, right? Which is why we were partnering with them, right? It's good opportunities to be in early. Well, with that, they're a growing project. Every growing project has things that then they have, just like we've adapted, they have to adapt, right? So it was always something that was more of a down the road. We were just making that, we made that relationship early so that we're part of it when they're ready to launch, right? And then when it happens, it happens. But it's all in their devs and all that. And again, they have to think about their investors. And like you said, the NFT market, when it starts to pump, maybe that's their time to it. Again, we're ready, and we're ready to pull in with them when it's time,
What I would say on the flip side to that is Lakeview Meta. So Lakeview have taken a completely different approach. So they've literally spent 6 months working, coding, building their metaverse, and it's fully functional. It's in beta, but it's basically they're bolting bits on day by day by day, making it more functional. But you can drive around the whole of it now. You can play games in it now. There's an arcade in there where you can play to earn games. And you can play for free on some of the arcade games in there. They have just got themselves a big partnership with an online casino, and they are going to have those online casino games in the metaverse. So you'll also be able to, if you want to go up in your avatar and play, I don't know, blackjack, roulette, whatever you want to do, if you go to Casino Island. So they've done it the opposite way around. So they've built their project, they've built the product, and now they're going to market, and we're in at that stage. So, that's where we are.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. I love it. And I'm really excited about the Lakeview stuff. I mean, the metaverse is just going to be amazing. I love seeing how this project is developing. We're in a key time, everybody. It's to tell you, it's hard to be a Poodlecast host because I can never plan out. I tried planning episodes like 6 weeks out when I started this thing and realized, yeah, no, I can't do that. I can barely even plan out a week. So, there we go. It's crazy.
And that's great. It's a testament to how well and fast we work behind the scenes, because things are dynamic, but in a good way. We have the stability of the token and the project. Yet a lot of the input at the back end, we are forging new alliances and making new collaborations. I mean, I can, for example, there's a new DEX coming out, which I can't tell you what the name of it. However, we're pre-listed on that. That's another collaboration from the Crypto Legends group. We signed up, we've done everything behind the scenes, and we will be on that DEX as soon as it launches. The DEX is only for KYC'd and vetted projects. They seek to root out scams before they get listed, and we'll be on there. So, there are other things in the pipeline. So it's exciting times, guys.
Yeah, so much. I wish everybody could know everything going on. But this is part of being fast, fluid, flexible. We are good. Sasha, thank you for coming on. I'm glad the community is asking for this, obviously, with the changes. I'm pretty sure everyone walked away from this show feeling really good. How many tokens can say that? So that's what's exciting. So again, thank you for joining on. Any last words? Last word?
No, anytime. I'm happy to come on. Anytime you guys want to see me or ask questions, or you want to find out a little bit more about what's going on. And if you don't want to do it in VC in the room, then this is a good forum as well. I don't want to hog Joe's show because he has some great thoughts and other great guests. But if you want to quiz me regularly, both of us, both me and Joe, then we can do this on a regular basis. Just let your thoughts be known, guys. And heads up, the market's not great, but our future is. So,
well, love that. And like I said, market's a great time to get in. Great time to pack that bag. So, all right. Well, thank you very much. Oh, as I turned off my mic, we will go ahead and close up this episode. Thank you, everyone. So good. And hopefully you are as excited and bullish about this project as I am, and Sasha is, and everybody there. And you can feel it. You can feel about the excitement. You can feel great things coming. So that said, I will let you all go. I will see you next week. 167 hours and 12 minutes from now. And of course, we'll see you on the Telegram between them. Have a great one, everyone.